Hey there, everybody. Uh, CP Cards and Dice. I'm playing the last few innings of a shutout that Juan Guzman has going against the 1992 Yankees. It's the Blue Jays versus the Yankees. It's Guzman versus Lee Gutterman or Guterman. And originally it was, I believe it was Jeff Johnson that started for the Mets, for the Yankees, a southpaw. Let's see here. I want to look at Guzman and what he did. Oh, my goodness. Now I can see why the Yankees are having trouble hitting him. 1992, 2.64 ERA. He was 16-5. 180 innings pitched, 135 hits allowed, 72 base on balls, 165 strikeouts. So now I can see why the Yankees have been really struggling here. The Yankees, I believe, are up to this point. They had 3 games. They're 5-1. They won the first game of this 4-game set versus the Blue Jays. So they're 5-1, but they're on their way to losing this game. Now, there's a couple interesting things. Hey there, how you doing, Philip? Now, I'm making my own strat cards from the card maker, so I can play and inject them into the pile. So that works out for me because otherwise I can't keep track of the. I just can't have all the guys on my phone that I need because there may be a pitcher and a batter simultaneously, and how do I do that? So it wouldn't work. So I had to make some cards up. I printed them up. It was pretty simple. Just make them into 3x5 index cards, and that's the size of the Strat-O-Matic card. So that's kind of cool. That said, Nats versus Astros. Don't remind me. I am a Yankee fan. Yes, but the Yankees didn't deserve it. You know, they didn't come up by their Encarnacion really failed them. It was a major fail by Encarnacion. I think he had 1 hit in the whole series. He struck out so many times. What position are you? What does that mean? Sitting down. Yeah, Encarnacion was bad in that series. Yankee pitching. The Yankees have no starting pitching, and you know it's the name of the game. Go Houston. All right, Danny. No problem, brother. Go Houston. I am not rooting for Houston. I'm rooting for Washington because much rather see them win. I don't know. It's like really bright. This especially these cards are really bright. I don't know why. Let me see if I can manipulate that a little bit. That's a little bit better. Okay. Anyway, as far as you put yourself into the game, what position? No, I didn't put myself into the game. What do you mean? I don't know. I'm not playing in this game. It's the Yankees versus the Blue Jays in Toronto. It is the top of the 7th inning. It's 6-0 Blue Jays. Guzman is pitching to Matt Noakes. There's 1 out. Nobody on here in the top of the 7th. Rolling, advanced, Strat-O-Matic advanced. See what happens. I'm using iScore as well, and I'm doing a little bit of tutorial on that. 3. So that's off Tartable's card, and it's going to be a 3-6, and that's going to be ball 4. So Danny Tartable walks. And actually, I was watching a 1992 game on YouTube of the Yankees versus Kansas City. So I was actually watching all these players play, and that was pretty darn cool. Matt Noakes. So I got Matt. That was Matt Noakes. Wait a second. Hold on, Cowboy. Yeah, that's not going to be. Wait a second. Let's do that again because somehow I got screwed up here. So I started the stream and it just not Danny Matt Noakes was up. Okay, all right. So it's there's 1 out and it's Matt Noakes at the plate. So let's roll for Matt Noakes. That's going to be a 1-7. A 1-7 is a ground ball to the second baseman Roberto Alomar, who throws to Olerud. 2 outs. And Jesse Barfield. So 1-12, and that's a deep drive to left field. Excuse me. Back goes Candy Molinaro to the track. That's out of here. That's a 6-1 ball game. Jesse Barfield connects. Looks like the Jesse Barfield of old, but he won't be in 1992 because he ends up on the injured list for most of the season. Batted 137 with 95 at bats and 2 home runs. Jesse Barfield connects for a round tripper here in inning number 7 with 2 outs. The score now 6-1, and there goes the Jose Guzman masterpiece shutout, pitching up to that point he was pitching a 3-hitter against the Yankees. Charlie Hayes. Now Charlie Hayes was around in the first World Series the Yanks win. I'm not sure if is it 97 or is it 98, but I know he's the one who catches the ball in foul territory on the third base line, I believe. Charlie Hayes. Yanks had a little bit of a revolving door in the late 90s and the early 2000s at third base. Aaron Boone was over there as well, and there was a couple other players that played in the hot corner. All right, Charlie Hayes. We're using iScore. I created my own card, but not for me, for different players, Philip. The players from the viewer, I created them, so I have them, but they came out pretty nice, as you can see. They're a little bit different. Not as cool. The name is a little bit small, but it works for me. I may be able to enlarge that. Who knows? So here goes. It's Charlie Hayes, 2 outs, top of the 7th. Guzman the pitch, and that's a 4. So that's going to be off of Guzman's card, a 4-11. That's a ballpark single. Now in Toronto, righties singles are 1-8. We rolled a 19, so that's lined and caught by the shortstop Manuel Lee. So line drive, shortstop, done, and that retires the side. So the Yanks managed to break up the shutout, and it's going to be Guterman who may start this inning. I don't know how far he's going to get because he's already allowed. He's reached his point of weakness. Now, does anybody know what that /N means? I got a point of weakness, relief 2/N. What does the N stand for? Anybody can tell me that? What the N stands for? I can't remember, and I haven't read the rules. Jeff Kent at the plate, not much of a hitter, 240, and that's going to be 5. Kent is a righty. That's going to be off of Guterman's card. 5-4, and that's catcher X. Catcher X, we rolled a 7. I'm using the advanced chart here. Our catcher is 7. Yeah, it's a 3 or a 4, and it's a pop-up for both. So it's popped up behind the plate. It's going to be 1 out. And that's Matt Noakes back there. I believe Matt Noakes is a 4. I don't think Matt Noakes is anything better than a 4, and we can double-check that. Anyway, tell me what N means. Create your own card. Hey, bud. How you doing, handsome? My dog came to see me, came to say hello. Matt Noakes is a 4. Yeah, that's what I thought. All right, Joe Carter. Joe Carter's 1 for 3. He flied out, hit a line drive or lined out, and then hit a solo home run. And that's going to be a 1 against a lefty, a 1-7 strikeout. So Joe Carter strikes out, swinging. And Dave Winfield now. Dave Winfield's facing Guterman. Here's the pitch. It's a 5-8. 5-8, and that's ball 4, and that's going to be it. That's going to be all for Guterman, and we're going to bring in, let's see who we're going to bring in now. We are going to bring in, you know who else I created? I created somebody else here. Let me see if I can find him. I created Steve Howe. I'm bring in well, this game is lost. Why would I bring in Steve Howe? Let me bring in somebody else who doesn't really do very much. Monteleone, Smilatello, Kurt Young, Mike Stanley, Bob Wickman. You know what? I'm just going to bring in I haven't pitched him till this point because I haven't had a card for him, Steve Howe. So I'm going to bring in Steve Howe to finish this off, get a little I'm still only in the bottom of the 7th, so I'm going to have to look and and see what I'm going to do. But I'm going to bring in Howe here to pitch to the lefty Olerud. Dave Winfield is on at first. It's 6-1 here in the bottom of the seventh in Toronto. 1992 Yankees versus the 1992 Blue Jays. Here's the pitch from Steve Howe. 112. 112 is a split. Not 112 is also going to be a 112 single, and we rolled a 9, so that's line base hit. Winfield's going to have to stop at second, and Mel Hall gets the ball in quickly, keeps Winfield at second, and Candy Maldonado now with first and second, 2 outs. Here's the pitch, and that's a 4 off Steve Howe, 4-7. And that's popped up. And on the right side, and back goes Andy Stankiewicz. Waits for it, makes the catch, and that retires the side. We go to the 8th inning. And Guzman is still on the mound for the Blue Jays. Pitching a 4-hitter. We're going to let him go the distance. Let me double check how many games he completed. It doesn't say on this card how many games he completed, but I don't really care at this point. He had 28 starts, but had an ERA of 2.64. Can I close? All right, so Andy Stankiewicz, here's the pitch from Juan Guzman, and that's a 4. He's a righty, so it's 4-6, and that's ball 4. So Stankiewicz manages a walk here in the top of the 8th inning. Next is Randy Velarde. Here's the pitch to Randy Velarde. That's a 6-11. That's a strikeout, Randy. Goes down swinging. The high cheese gets Velarde, and it's Donnie Baseball, Don Mattingly, who did not have a great season in 92. He batted .287 with 14 home runs, 86 RBIs, was still a clutch hitter. Don Mattingly, here's the pitch. It's a 5, a 5-5, and that's going to be a strikeout. He's past the 7th. Let's see what he did last inning. Point of weakness, he allowed 1. No, so that's going to be a strikeout. Mattingly goes down swinging. And it's Roberto Kelly with 2 outs. Stankiewicz takes his lead off first. Here's the pitch from Guzman, and that's a 6, a 6-10, and that's going to be a ballpark single, potentially a 20. That's line and caught by Manny Lee. Manny Lee timed it perfectly. You hit line drive, you hit 6, and that retires the side. Next is Pat Borders coming up. He's the catcher for the Toronto Blue Jays. Now Borders is 1 for 3 on the day. Here's the pitch to Borders. Here, if you look at iScore, you have your standard box score, the ones you would keep, And I don't know how I just made it larger, but I just did. But I guess. But anyway, it's there, and you can kind of go to it, and you can see what's what. Oh, there it is. You just slide it down, and you get the whole box score there on the side. It's the standard box score. I don't know if you can see that. Let me see if I remove some of this light, it'll adjust, and you can see it now. Let me see if I get a better angle for you. I don't know if you can see it there either. Anyway, this is iScore. Using iScore, playing Strat-O-Matic Advanced. This is a 10-inch iPad. It's an older one. I picked it up for, I think, $80, $90, I believe, and it's pretty big. It's pretty nice, easy for me to see, easy for me to handle. So I like that. iScore is a free app, and it keeps my stats. Like, for example, Pat Borders. Let's see what Pat Borders is doing in these 2 games against the Yankees. You just click on his name there, and it pops up. His stats are he's basically 1 for 7, batting 143 against the Yankees. And he's at the plate right now. See what happens. Lee, oh no, wait. I made a change earlier and I never fixed it. I can show you real quick on how to make a a change. So I'm going to exit out of this. I'm going to exit out, and I'm going to go to edit game. So let's see quickly. I brought in Howe in the bottom of the inning, and I remember it was Kent flied out, and then Carter strikes out, and then I brought in, and then it was Winfield with 2 outs who walked, and that's when I brought in Steve Howe. So I'm going to go to the at bat versus Olerud, and I click on Guterman, and it asks me substitution none, and I'm going to edit. Winfield holds up, Olerud holds up at first. Game adjustment. Okay, so it's going to be for the visitor, and edit for the visitor in that spot where I forgot to write in. I used Steve Howe's card, but since I was talking and carrying on, I forgot to actually change it in the system. So I'm going to say add sub, because I've never used Steve Howe before. I didn't have his card till today. I actually had to sign up for the $5 a month card viewer, and I have to go through all these permutations to print out a card. I would much rather just pay them for all the extra players, but since they don't want my money, they want to do it this way. I don't see how this is a better way. It's way more inconvenient for me. And you only get a one-sided card. It's not as nice as all the others. So anyway, Steve Howe is a lefty. So I guess he bats left. He'll never bat. Throws left. So I put that in there. Okay, now I'm going to do add sub. I already did that. So Steve Howe, I highlight him. I hit save, and he should be pitching now. So let's go back, and let's check. We're going to score game. Everything was put on hold there, which is cool. And there he is. Steve Howe is on the mound right now. So that's how you make a correction. Let's say, you didn't input somebody, you used the guy's card, but you didn't input him for whatever reason. You got distracted. You can always go back and check that and fix that. So it's very unusual. You know what? I had a crazy event, though. I had something happen to me that's never happened to me before. And I had to actually delete 2 games that I played. Why? Because I was using the ballpark effects for the wrong ballpark. For some reason, it was, it was a brain fart, major brain fart, and it actually came into play multiple times in both those games, and they got multiple hits and multiple home runs off the wrong ballpark. So I had to actually delete 2 whole games and replay them. That's crazy. I don't think I've done that in a long, long time. Anyway. All right, Steve Howe's on the mound. Pat Borders, we're going to get roll for Pat Borders. It's going to be a 4. He's a righty, a 4-10, and that's a strikeout. Borders strikes out. We are in the bottom of the 8th, 6-1, Yankees. That's a 6 now, switch hitter, so he's batting from the left side, a 6-6, and that's a fly ball, right field. Jesse Barfield back to the track. Nice catch by Barfield in right. That was Turner Ward. So there you go, a card for Turner Ward and a made-up card for Steve Howe. That was cool. I got my money's worth there. And it's Manny Lee or Manuel Lee, and that's a 4. He's a switch hitter, so he is batting from the right side. That's a 4-6, and that's a line caught by the second baseman, Stankiewicz. Hit it right on the screws, but right at Stankiewicz. And it's going to be Mel Hall here in the top of the 9th. And Guzman's going to try to finish it off. He's pitching a 4-hitter. Mel Hall, who is 0 for 3, steps in the box, and here's the pitch. It's a 6-7. That's ball 4. Guzman walks Hall. And let's see what he did last inning. He allowed nobody in the 8th, so he's still good. All right, Danny Tartable, that's a 3. A 3-6, and that's ball 4, and that's going to be it for Guzman. And we're going to bring in another card that we made, a guy named Trilacek or Turlacek, one of those. Turlacek, Ricky Turlacek, 1992. Going to bring in Turlacek for Guzman. He's been pitching a lot, and I didn't have a card for him. So I said, you know what, I got to make a card for him. I got to figure this out. Can't play 92 without the right guys. So Terlicek is going to come in. He's going to replace Guzman, who just kind of, I guess, ran out of gas at this point. I'm going to have to add a sub, and his name is Ricky. Ricky Terlicek, and I could guarantee that's how you pronounce his name. He's a right-hander. So I created him. I go down to find him. I highlight him, and I press save, and he should be in there. So the first thing I did was hit the pitcher spot. Then it takes me, like I'll show you again, I hit the pitcher spot, and it takes me to the roster. Now, I didn't have him in the roster because I only had the first 9 players in the roster, the guys who were going to play. Once I have those guys every game, I'll add 1 or 2 players. It just works better for me that way. Some guys may want to add the whole 25-man roster at once and then not worry about it later. But I don't know if I'll ever use those guys because you're constantly switching back and forth. So, throughout the course of the season. So I may input a roster, 25-man roster for the beginning of the season. Those guys don't get used. And then they're not there for the next round. So then why did I even waste putting their name in? So that's how I do it. You cancel out. I got Ricky Terlicek on the mound, going to face Matt Noakes with runners on first and second and nobody out here in the top of the 9th. It's a 6-1 Toronto lead. So the Yankees are threatening here. So Matt Noakes, he's lefty power hitter, catcher for the Yankees. And that's going to be a 2-3 versus a righty. So it's a 2-3, and that's going to be a ground ball second base. Hit hard right at Almar, flips to Manuel Lee, back to first. In time, it's a 4-6-3 double play. That's 2 outs. So that definitely kills the rally. So it's a ground ball. That's how you play that. 4-6-3. And then it says, what happened to the runner on second? Well, he advanced to third. What happened to the runner at first? He's out on a double play. Boom. That's how easy using iScore is. It does everything for you. There's 2 outs. Top of the 9th. It's New York 1, Toronto 6. It's got everything you need here. It's a great little app program, a free app. Millhall stands at third base, and it's Jesse Barfield. Barfield's 1 for 3. I think that was Barfield's first hit of the season, actually. Oop. Let's look. You got to hit his name on the lineup. Okay, and it's going to tell me what he's batting. He's batting, that was his second hit of the year. He's 2 for 21, 0.95. He's got 1 home run and 2 RBIs the season. But he did have a hits at some other point. All right, so anyway, Jesse Barfield's having a horrible season. All right, here's the pitch from Terlicek. 2 outs. Top of the 9, 6-1 Blue Jays, 1992, New York versus Toronto. Memory lane, 5. So that's going to be off Terlicek. He's a righty, so that's on the right side. 5-4, and that's going to be a fly-out center field X. Now, Turner Ward, he's one of the cards I made up because he only had 29 at-bats with Toronto that year, and he is a center fielder 3, E0, whatever that means. Anyway, he's a 3. So we're going to look here. Oh, there he is. There's center field. We rolled an 18. And so we're not going to have to re-roll. That's going to be a fly ball and run down by Ward to finish it off. So the Yankees lose it. This is their second loss of the season. They're going to drop to 5-2 now, which is not too shabby. You exit it out. And then I have to put in the winning pitcher and the losing pitcher, confirm exit, and right in here, put the winning pitcher is Guzman. Losing pitcher is going to be Jeff Johnson. And that's it. It keeps track of everything. So I love iScore. Now go back, and I'm going to set up the third game. This is a 4-game set in Toronto. So it says add game. Who's the visitor? It's the Yankees. And who's the home team? It's the Blue Jays. And I'm done. Now I'm going to go hit the arrow, score game. It's going to give me the lineups. What lineups did they have? And I've shown this before. I think I did another video with this, the last one. And it shows me this lineup. I don't know. I'm going to check with the actual lineup. I can actually check on my phone what the actual lineup is for game 3. And that's how I like to do it. I like to play it that way. Let's see. Game 3 of the Toronto Blue Jays series. April 15th, 1992. And the Blue Jays, let's see, Devon White is back in there. So I'm going to bring Devon White back into the game. Oh, he's there already because that's my standard lineup. It's Alomar, Carter, Olerud, Maldonado, Board. Okay, that's great. I don't have to do anything except create Jimmy Key. Perfect. That saves me a lot of time and energy. So Jimmy Key, create new player. This is how you create a new player. So it's Jimmy Key. He's a righty. Pitches, does not bat. Boom. Save. So he's down at the bottom. I just bring him up, and I put him into the make him the pitcher. There you go. And I'm ready to roll. Oh, wait, I got to make him a pitcher. I'm ready to roll. That's it for the Blue Jays. So the Blue Jays lineup is done. Let's see what the Yankees did with their lineup. Velarde, Mattingly, Kelly, they moved Tartable up. They moved. Oh wait, Jimmy Key, was he a lefty or righty? Let's see. Maybe he was a lefty, wasn't he? Jimmy Key's here somewhere. Let's see. Jack Morris was on this team. They got a pretty good team. Derek Bell, Pat Tabler, Alfredo Griffin. Okay, Devon White. He's back in it. David Wells, Mike Tomlin. Can't find Jimmy Key, but I know I have him in here somewhere. Jack Morris. Jimmy Key, there he is. I'm sorry, Jimmy Key is a lefty. That's what I thought. All right, I made a mistake. So let me go back to Key. And I click on Key, and it takes me to this other lefty. He's a lefty. Oh, there you go. Save. He bats. What does he bat? He's a throws left. Oh, he bats righty, I think. I don't know. He's not going to bat anyway. It doesn't matter. All right. So Jimmy Key right there. Then I'm going to go to visitor. And what was I saying about the Yankees lineup? What did I have to change for them? So far, I switched Tartable in the 4th and the 5th spot. Stanley plays in this game, and it's Melito Perez. So let me get rid of this pitcher. He's my standard pitcher, and then I'm going to bring in Perez. Out, Perez, pitcher. And then my catcher is not going to be Noakes. So Noakes is not playing this game. So I get rid of batting. I get rid of the catcher, move him down. Mike Stanley's going to come up into that spot right before Hayes. Catcher and batting. And that's how quickly you set up this game. So let me double check. It's Barfield, Stanley, Hayes, and Kelly. Barfield, Stanley, Hayes, and Kelly. Boom. Melito Perez. He's a pretty good pitcher for the Yankees. And let me pull him. Melito Perez. He's a pretty good pitcher. He's had a pretty low ERA. And I'll tell you what that is. Melito Perez ERA was 2.87, 13 and 16. So Trilacek goes back into, or Trilacek goes back into Toronto, and back into the Yankees goes Steve Howe. And it's Melito Perez. Jimmy Key. I'm going to protect Jimmy Key because he's one of those guys I'm going to be grabbing and manhandling a little bit. So I'm going to protect him with a sleeve. Usually protect the starting pitchers with sleeves. And I don't protect all the other guys. I may protect like the leadoff batter. So Jimmy Key is going to go up against the Yanks here. And I got to switch Tartable and Hall, Kelly, Mattingly, and then I got to pull Noakes. Noakes is out. This guy's out too. Guterman's out. Where's the Noakes? Noakes is out. And instead of Noakes, I'm going to have Stanley. Let me find Mike Stanley. There he is, Mike Stanley. Mike Stanley's going to, Kurt Young, don't want Kurt Young. So Barfield, then Stanley, then Hayes. So there you go. I'm ready to roll for the next game. That's how quick it is. Play. Gonna hit play. Everything's set up. I double check the lineups, double check the fielders. Everybody's in position. Great. Randy Velarde. So that's how I do this. So that's pretty quick. So it's Devon White, Roberto Alomar. Kent is batting 8th now. So it's Carter, Winfield, Olerud, Maldonado, Borders. What did I do with Borders? Let's see. Borders is in there somewhere. Oh, there he is. Borders, Kent, and then Lee. Perfect. All right. So thanks, guys, for stopping by. It was great talking to you. And this is CP Cards and Dice, sharing our little bit of our hobby and a little bit of fun and relaxation. Playing, getting to relearn. I haven't played this in a while. The advanced fielding chart and Strat-O-Matic advanced. I mean, I like Strat-O-Matic. I like them all. Jimmy Key is going to be facing Melito Perez. So that's going to be a pretty good ball game. Jimmy Key, how did Jimmy Key do? Jimmy Key was 353 already, 13-13, 33 starts. So I'm sure he'll hold his own against Melito Perez, and we'll see what happens. So I wanted to share some of that, making the cards. They're easy to make, and just print out. You got to take a picture, and then you got to send it to your email, and then you got to download it and print it out in the 3x5 format. I'm going to try to use tomorrow. I should try to use Excel on my other laptop, and then I'm going to try to put 4 or 5 or 6 cards. Well, actually, I don't know how many cards I can fit on a regular piece of paper. 4. I'll be able to fit 4 on a regular piece of paper. So then, rather than having to print out individual sheets of cardstock, I put them on cardstock, just the 110-pound cardstock. So in case I may actually do a how-to on how to do that for everybody. But otherwise, that's it for now. I'm going to take a little break, a little ball playing break. Had a great time in that game. Unfortunately, the Yankees lost by a score of 6-1. But Guzman was masterful, and but hopefully the Yanks will win this game. They're 5-2 right now at the start of the season. This is game 8. This is played April. What did I say? 15th. I can't remember what I said. Let's check. Yeah, April 15th, third game of a 4-game set. Right now they're tied at 1 apiece, and that's it. So this is Combat Painter, CP Cards and Dice. I will talk to you guys soon, and keep rolling those dice and enjoying our hobby. Take care, guys.